For generations anglers have sat creating images in their mind, with eyes transfixed on the tip of the rod. I attain what in meditation is known as one-pointed focus. And many years ago the quiver tip became my meditation, my time for mental stillness. Within the twitches, trembles and gentle pulls of the tip, the river shares its subsurface motion and alludes to its contents. And for me, I can't look away.
See the action. Here we are today, trying a few of the smaller streams out, off the Thames, trying out the new specialist quiver tip rod. And I got down and got this little guy straight away. He's about getting on for £4 on a bit of ledgered crust. I'm going to get him back, I'm not going to keep him out, and we're going to hop along the swims and see what we can get, see if we can winkle out a few more, give these rods a test. So on this little river, I'm going to use this little cage feeder. It's the smallest one. And normally I'd trundle through, but there's so many trees that the line is going to get swept into the branches. So this will hold me a little bit. It might move a little bit, which is fine because there's not too much flow, but it just introduces a little bit of feed and it'll draw the fish up, maybe if they feel like moving. So I pack it quite loosely, not too tight, and then just my standard piece of flake today because there's a nice green tinge on the river, so I'm not worried about using cheese base. I've got some with me, but I'm just going to keep it really loose. I'm just going to hook through and then I hook through again. Try to keep everything with loads of air in it because I want it to bob around a little bit, and just spread it out, little pinch around the eye, and that'll hold. I'll nip a couple of bits off that. And that's on a little running, tiny little micro swivel up to another stopper there in case I want to narrow things up and go onto a link ledger. I've stayed back from the water so as not to spook anything. It's a small stream, so I'm about rod length back. I'm going to sneak up a little bit and then flick out. Sometimes a swim like this can be a chub fisherman's worst enemy. Looks nice, got cover, nice flow, nice crease, and the problem with it is you can end up spending too much time in a swim like this thinking, surely chub have got to be here, they've got to be. So I end up recasting and recasting. And you think over all the years you'd learn, but I do tend to waste a bit of time in a chubby looking swim that I think is chubby looking, but the chub don't feel the same way about it. So I think on small streams like this, it's good to keep moving, keep searching. So give it 5 or 10 minutes. Some people like 20 minutes. It's everybody to their own with the with how long you spend in a swim and how you feed it, how you run through it, whether you fix it with a feeder, whether you trickle through with a nice little link ledger, or whether you trot it. But I've been here now, feels like about 2 or 3 minutes, but it's probably been about 7 or 8, maybe 9, and as I get older my concept of time seems to shift. So I'm going against my own advice here. I think this swim has got a chub in it. So I'm taking off the feeder. Just going to put on a couple of split shot, and I'm going to let the bait just move across the swim a little bit. So I use different ways of hooking the bread. Sometimes I fold it round. This time, I said, because I've just got 2 shot on, I don't want too much air in it because it's a small swim. So I take 2 pieces on this occasion, and I just sit the hook it round the bottom of the bread, and then put the other one on top, and I'm just going to squeeze so it keeps a load of air in the edges, and it's just for one cast, so you know, it doesn't have to stay on. Got a little tiny bit too much shot on there for it to move, so I'm just going to gently lift it and just bring it into the flow a little bit. Saw the bread there, it's quite a shallow swim. This section of is a little bit caught on a tree there as well. Damn it. Okay. That's what was interfering with things. Now it's now it's really moved. But it's settled right in against the rushes here, so I'm going to just see if there's anything sitting in there. It's ended up there, so there's no point shifting it straight away. There might have been a chub watching it. So I've just moved down to another swim. It's tight. You have to pardon the noise. Main roads, they're everywhere. I've dropped back to the 10-foot rod. So I've brought the 12 and the 10-foot along for these tight swims. It's ideal for this tight swim, but it'll be a hit and hold job. And the undercurrent's going to carry a couple of shot under really quick and push it against the bank. So I've put a little feeder on again. I'm just going to fill that, and I'm just going to drop it down there. It's one of those ones where there might be absolutely nothing because it's pushing a bit, but there could be a big old chub sat there. So it's one that I'll give it 5 minutes, just stuff the feeder. If I get it right first time, I sit and wait, and then if a bite comes, it really is a hit and hold. I've not got the rods on the rest because I need to be able to hit a fish quick. If I get a bite, I want to be able to feel everything. So I can hit quick and lock down and get the fish and control the fish in amongst these snags. But it's not an easy swim to fish. There's a lot of current on the near bank here. It's fairly slack over the other side where it's shallow. But I feel if there are fish sitting here, they're just on the other side of that crease. And at the moment the feeder will be empty, but it'll just be holding position for me so it doesn't get washed right in through all the sticks and twigs. off. Yeah, I happened to look up at a couple of Egyptian geese flying over. Beautiful. And then I looked back at my rod and saw it whack a couple of times. It looked chublety. Wasn't a very slow pull, and then let the bite develop, hit it, and then in classic fashion from Mark Boyd, lost it. So just a little cast downstream this time. Yeah, it's a good one, mate. I'm still chewing on a bit of crust. That's a lovely fish. Look at that. Oh, it's only just hooked. Oh, nice. That's a lovely fish. Yay. That's a cracker. Another lovely chub. This one just over £5. Lively one, lively in the fight too. It was a lovely scrap. Nice belly on it, nice depth and shoulders. Tail, missing a bit of a top section there. We're going to pop you back. Thanks for letting us see you. We're going to head to the Thames next. Bit of heavier feeder work and see if we can pick up an even bigger one. So we're here on the Thames now, all set up on a nice big reed bed, big swim out in front of us, and I've got two of the specialist quiver tip rods all set up. I've got the 10-foot version, just fishing in a little bit closer on a cage feeder, a little 40-gram cage feeder, and then on the 12-foot, I'm further down the swim, almost link ledgering, but with a bit more weight, so I'm allowing things to move and settle. There's also a mid-range one, there's an 11-foot one that sits between these two, but I can't fish 3 rods. 2's bad enough in a big swim, but I like the shorter rod for those more sort of intimate rivers as well. So it's nice for fishing close in, but if I'm fishing one of the other sort of Thames backwaters or the Cherwell, for instance, I like to have a shorter rod. With the longer rod, you feel like you've got a bit more reach, so if you can't get to the edge of the bank, you can still hold a chub off from underneath your feet, which they love doing. I mean, I don't think there's a chub fisherman out there that hasn't lost a chub almost under their feet, and you can hold that right off. So even though I'm back from the edge here with that 12-footer and even the 10-footer, I can hold back out, and there's enough power in this bottom section to allow me to do that. And these rods, all 3 of them come with 2 tips, 2-ounce glass tip and 3-ounce carbon tip, so absolutely perfect for river work and, you know, chub especially. I think if you were going for roach, you might want to drop to sort of a 1.5, but the other Drennan tips are going to fit your rod, so that's great. I think they're going to do exactly what you need them to do. They've got the backbone, they've got sensitive tips. Chub fishermen love a glass tip. It's a nice slow bite that comes around. It's not going to bounce and twitch like the carbon tips, but a 3-ounce carbon tip is going to work on a bigger flow and a bigger river anyway. You're not going to be looking for tiny bites. And there's another one. So I'm seeing the bites even on the glass tip with it being sort of pulled round a little bit. I've got some bream down the end of this pool. They're not really welcome today, but hey ho. Yeah, just that was the little chub that was knocking around, and I missed it a couple of times. I think probably the same fish. But yeah, nice little chub, little Thames chub. So we haven't managed any big ones off the Thames, but Sunday or Monday, I had a lovely fish, just over £6, just over, it's nearly 6.5.
Look at it. Wow. What chub.
Absolutely lovely fish, mint condition. That was just link ledgering, and yeah, absolutely my best chub of the season so far, I think. And I was hoping for something like that again today on the Thames, but there's bream, there's small chub, and the big ones haven't put in an appearance yet. And I say yet. The small rivers served us very well today. Fish of about £4 and another one which was just over 5. Again, mint condition, I mean, and they're nice chub. A fish around £5 is a great fish, and you're always going to get a good scrap off a £5-pounder. But I think I'll stay here until the light drops a little more, till it gets a little darker, because unlike the cameraman, I'm not afraid of the dark.
Lively. Once Jack went, yeah, I thought I'd done it. Thought I'd got a 6. 5.12. Still an absolute minter of a fish though, isn't it? Stunning. Absolute belter.